Okay, so today we're going to do some trees, birch trees in particular, and we're going to show them from the perspective of being just kind of straight on. Yesterday we did trees from the ground looking up, so we saw those trees kind of coming in. Today we're drawing from the perspective of just straight on as I was walking through the woods and just happened to turn to one side or the other and see these trees. Now, there's a few different things you can use to do them. You first of all, of course, need a piece of paper, and I'm going to do mine the tall way. You could have, just, and of course we're only seeing part of the tree, we're not seeing the whole thing. You could have more trees if you go in this direction, or you can have taller trees, maybe fewer of them if you go in this direction. You can do this with a washable marker. So I know that this is washable because it actually says washable and I see some bubbles on it. And I'm going to choose black because the birch tree is kind of black and white. Or if you have an oil pastel like this will work too, because what we need to do is we actually need to smudge some of our lines. So I'm going to show you first with the oil pastel. So I'm just going to do a few trees here as an example. So on this one I have 4 trees. On this one I'll be getting I don't know how many yet. So I'm going to start with a line. This is for just the edge of the tree. And I have this kind of wobbly. They're pretty straight, but you can I like to turn my oil pastel as I go, and it gets kind of a wobbly line on it. Now I'm going to do the other side of the tree. So it's going to be coming straight down like that. Now I'm going to use my finger, and if you noticed, I turned my page because I'm actually going to smudge some of these lines, and I want them to have the look of the bark on there. So I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to smudge over. Now, if you don't like the way this feels on your finger, you can grab a paper towel or Kleenex and wrap your finger in it, and you can go and just smudge it like that. But you can see how some of these now start to make these little lines. We can always add more in if we need to, if maybe it's not smudging enough. And notice I'm not going outside of the bark. I want to stay inside of the tree here. And that's kind of cool the way it did that. Turning and doing the other side. All right, so now if I feel like maybe I need a few more things on there, like I like the way this looks here with a little bit more color to it, maybe I'll go in and I'll just add in a little bit. Oops, I got a little chunk there. And then just quickly smudge, trying just to stay within that tree. Just little bits of lines. Okay, so I might leave that one alone. I want to show you how to do it with the marker too. Remember, again, it has to be washable. If you don't have washable, this won't work. So I have my washable marker, and I'm just going to draw a line for the tree. And then the other line, and maybe I want to have it look like a branch off of the side. I can do that. Then I'm going to go get myself a damp paper towel. So now with this paper towel, I'm going to turn my page again. It's just a little bit wet. I'm going to start on the line and I'm just going to pull towards me. Pull towards me. And you can see it doesn't have quite the same effect yet. I'm going to turn my page, but I like those lines. So I'm not going up and down. I need those lines going side to side. Okay, now I'm going to let it dry just a touch. I can go back in and I can add in some lines. If you want to, you can really carefully go over them again. Smudge them just a touch. And it softens them up a bit. Okay. So there's that. Now I'm going to decide which one I like better, and I'm going to continue making some trees on there so I fill up my space. Now, if you're at home and oops, and you have watercolors, you can use watercolors to do the background like I did on this one. So I just used some blue and some purple. It doesn't have to be that. Maybe you want it to be yellows and oranges so that it's more of a sunrise or sunset. Decide what you want and just paint in between your trees. Or if you don't have that, you can find yourself just some markers and you can color in between your trees too. You can use, if you have those oil pastels, you can draw yourself a bird, like a cardinal. Those things seem to be showing up a lot right about now. I see a lot of them. Just put the idea of the bird in the tree, something like that. Maybe you want to make it bigger, or just a dot. You can do that too because they're not very big birds. Maybe you want a woodpecker on there. You can decide what you want to put and put it on there. Maybe you don't want anything. Maybe you just want it to be just the background, but just get something in there then to show that this is the sky and those are the trees. You could put some more trees even behind these ones if you wanted to. But whatever you do something around those trees. Be careful with it and have fun.